You ever get in your car and everything looks fine, like it should work, but nothing moves? And you're sitting there confused until somebody asks you, "Did you check the oil?" And the second they say it, you're like, "Oh, that's what this story felt like to me." Because we all grew up hearing about Rosa Parks, the bus boycotts, that moment. But nobody ever told me about Fred Gray. And that's the part that just doesn't sit right with me. Fred Gray was a young lawyer in Montgomery, Alabama. Early 20s, he had just opened his own office, one of very few Black attorneys in the state. And before this even starts, he already knows what he's about to do with his life. He made himself a promise. He said, "I'm coming back here, and I'm going to destroy everything segregated that I can find." Now, watch how this plays out. 6 months later, a 15-year-old girl gets dragged off a bus. Claudette Colvin, may she rest in peace. Fred Gray represents her, takes that case as far as he can. Then Rosa Parks gets arrested. Same situation, different day. He had been with her earlier that day eating lunch. Now he's representing her too. And this is where everybody else is focused on the moment, the protest, the boycott. But Fred Gray isn't, because he's looking at the system behind it. And he realizes something real quick. If they stay in Alabama courts, nothing's going to change. It'll drag out, it'll get buried, it'll disappear. He does something different. He starts finding other women that this had happened to and starts building a case. And instead of asking the system to fix itself, he takes it somewhere that it can't hide. Federal court. Files a case, Browder v. Gale. And while everyone else is watching people walk instead of ride, this case is moving. Quietly, though, until it's not. The ruling came down. Bus segregation ruled unconstitutional in federal court. And that's when it clicks. Because suddenly you realize that moment that everyone talks about only mattered because someone made it law. And Fred Gray did that at 25 years old. And once he sees that works, he doesn't stop. He represents Martin Luther King Jr. and wins an acquittal. He goes to the Supreme Court and walks in with a map, shows them that Alabama redrew a city just to block Black voters. And he wins again. He represents students that the governor tried to block. And they walk in anyway. He files the case that desegregates schools across Alabama. Not one, all of them. He helps secure federal protections for the Selma marches, which helps push the Voting Rights Act forward. And then there's Tuskegee. This man, hundreds of Black men were told that they were getting health care. They weren't. Fred Gray represents them. He takes the federal government to court and wins a settlement on behalf of these men. And this is the part that really sat with me. All of that, all those cases, all those wins. This man, Fred Gray, is still here. He is still practicing law. And when people try to give him credit, he pushes it off. But I will not be doing that, Mr. Gray. Because that story that we all know, that moment that we were taught to focus on, that was the car. And Fred Gray was the oil. And without him, it doesn't move. Say his name, Fred Gray.